Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I like himself. Where's rightful ruler? Hey yo! Eli! Hail them high, hail the black king, born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy, who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time, them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at it.
Great, Ras Miguel Lorne. Welcome, Ras Miguel, to the Lion Talk, and welcome to the platform.
Greetings and blessings, and I am honored. I'm honored to be on the platform. Each day that I think of the work, I think all that you have done so far, it's coming like the work has just begun. Because when I went to Suriname, and I went amongst the Surinamese Maroons. They asked me to take them back home to Africa. I haven't done that yet. When I went to Dejazmatch, the birthplace of His Majesty, when I went to the church there, the priest asked me if I would, the church need repairs. And the priest asked if I would assist in the repairs of the church there. I told him yes. So I haven't fulfilled that yet. So I went somewhere else again. And the Panafricanist people asked me to take them back home. I did meet with a governor from the Mashone province in Zimbabwe, and I did ask him, would he be able to accommodate the Maroons from Suriname to come home? And he said yes, the land is big, woolly there, and so on. So we did start the preliminary talk, but these are works I can tell you from now that I have to fulfill within due time.
We give thanks for your diligence and your commitment to community over the years. How we do it on Lion Talk is that we want to get your journey. So please, let's start from the beginning. Where were you born? What was your upbringing like? Were you born into the Rastafari movement? You know, just take us back to the genesis of Ras Miguel.
No. I was born at number 1 Mission Road. Mission Road. So from birth, I was born to fulfill mission. But the Mission Road is in the Kingston 13 era of the grassroots era. I don't use the word ghetto. The grassroots era of Kingston, off Walton Park Road. So it's in that region I was born. I was born on the 22nd of March, 1953. And I wasn't born into Rastafari. But as I grew up in a yard with enough Rastas. Eventually I moved from 1 Mission Road to 37A Lincoln Avenue. And at that yard at Lincoln Avenue, there was a brother by the name of Gladson Anderson. And he had a piano, and he used to play the piano. And it is in that yard at 37A Lincoln Avenue that reggae music was born. Gladdy was the first man. I'm doing a book now on Gladdy because he wrote a book, a hardcover exercise book, and gave me. And I didn't realize that that was his last will and testament, as it were, because that's all he gave me. And when his family contacted me and asked if he left a will, I told him no. It's years after that I realized when I'm going through his file that technically his book was his last will and testament. Gladdy was a man, Gladson Anderson was the man who invented ska, rocksteady, and reggae. I know people are gonna find it unbelievable that is one man who invented those three genres of music. So I'm committed to putting out that book, which I'm working on now. Growing up in the grassroots era, you and Tangle, I went to Rasta Primary School, which is not too far from my home. I went to Rasta Primary. From there, I took the scholarship, the what they call now PEP, but at that time it was a scholarship. And I passed for Woolmer's Boys, and that's where I did my secondary education. From Woolmer's Boys, I went to the University of West Indies, and that's when I studied law. So it has been in the grassroots here, it has been a tumultuous journey.
Yes.
I remember when I went to Barbados to study law, the first letter my mother sent me, it had in 10 pounds. You know, she always had this habit of putting the money in the letter and actually come to, and I don't really remember losing any because she always put, if it's even 2 pounds, if it's even 5 pounds. But I remember the first letter she sent, it had in 10 pounds. And that was such a glorious 10 pounds. Because when it changed out in Barbados, it changed out enough.
Yes.
In Barbados, the dollar was much higher than ours. And that's a journey I would start.
So when did Rastafari, or when did you identify Rastafari that this was the track that you were going to take?
Well, I wanted to, I would consider myself Rasta from about 15, 16. But of course, within my mother's house, you know, I grew up with a stepfather, so I mostly relate to my mother.
Yes.
And within my mother's house, I couldn't exhibit because I had to wear a tam almost every day, you know, and so on. So when I go on the road, I put on my red, gold, and green tam. But when I'm in my mother's house, I put on an ordinary black tam, or blue tam, or gray tam, you know. So now going to university now, especially going to Barbados, then it gave me the freedom now that I could now dash for the scissors and comb.
Okay. So as a university student, and I too put on my covenant in university. I reasoned with Ras Sekou. He also put on his covenant in university. So I'm seeing a trend here, you know. So I'm in good company. I'm in very good company. So
we couldn't put it on at home.
Yes.
Matter what you.
So talk about what was Rastafari like in those early days as a university student. Did you connect with any other Rastas in Barbados? What was your experience like now that you put on your covenant in university?
But before university, in Jamaica's independence in 1962, where I live, and I distinctly remember that day as a little youth. There was a Rasta man who was riding a bicycle up and down the road. And he kept saying, "Where is the red? Where is the red?" And I didn't understand him much. You know, I was about 10, 12 years old at that time. So I asked my mother, I said, "Why is he saying, where is the red?" And she said to me, they have left out the red out of the flag. I never forget that. And I saw the Rasta man, I asked him, and he said, yes, they have left out the red, and it's not the true flag. And until this day, the Jamaican flag have been black, green, and gold, and they have left out the red, which they should have put in the red.
Yes.
So that stand out to me as a little youth within Rastafari. The other aspect is that the yard that I grew up in, because Gladdy and piano. And remember in those days, artists didn't have enough money to go to studio, go rehearse.
Yes.
They might rehearse at the yard.
Yes.
And then go to studio because the studio time was very limited. So a lot of Rastas came into the yard to make songs. John Holt, Stranger Cole, Heptones, all of them came to the yard. Ken Booth. So I met all of these greats at an early age. I was very glad, I was very happy to go when they sent me out to buy a split for them or to buy a stout for them. I feel honored, that they've seen. So they grew me up on the basis that I must come and represent them.
Okay.
They never encouraged me to do laziness or slackness or deviation. So you take a book because you go and come and represent us. I always remember that. So I was very honored to go and buy a split for them and so on, So it is that that I grew up with. So I knew a lot of the greats from a very early age. I would see some people would come for Brother Gladdy, want him to go and play for them. And he would say, no, I'm busy, can't go. After I'm gone, he tell me, say, they want to come put on junk on the clothes and them type of thing. Because Barely usually have black and white vests and all them. Yes. So as Rastafari, I was very seasoned, and I knew what I want. Starting now at university, before I reached university, I used to do a lot of reading. I was reading books like Soul That Brother. That was a very influential book with George Jackson. I was reading books like Wretch of the Earth. I was reading books like Godfather. Really showed me what the mafia looked like. And numerous other books that I was reading. And gradually now, at university, I was more reading books that pointed me to His Imperial Majesty, Rastafari. Okay. So one of the first things I did was, when I got a little knowledge, I made sure get a picture of His Majesty and put up in my house in Barbados. First, I like a picture would show his nobility. Yes. That whole heap of badges and all that. I liked it. So from the first point of view now, I could boast that he is the highest ranking nobility. So when people come and ask me, I say, no, it's the highest rank nobility because nobody else can come with more emblems and achievements than him.
Yes.
And then,
But the blockade with them put on Cuba and Zimbabwe. Not road. Hey, Dejazmatch, talk to them now.
Sometimes in this life you have to go your own way. Me pray for me brothers in Zimbabwe. For me Cuban sisters, I see them and say, the Almighty love all of the people same way. Me tell Babylon them fi open up the gate. Zimbabwe she reclaim her land, that's great. Me love the way the people in Cuba get educate. Me have to ask them in the West why them are so full of hate.
Them hate Mugabe and them hate Castro. Them come with them blockade and them embargo. Cause Castro tell them no and Mugabe tell them go. Them want exploit the land and take with the fool. Brainwash education and use and mislead the youth. Them kill Trayvon and them shoot Martin Luther. And millions in Nigeria what they and still not make the news. Mafia trample Babylon and a me Gideon boat.
Sometimes in this life you have to go your own way. Me pray for me brothers in a Zimbabwe. For me Cuban sisters, I see them and say the Almighty love all of the people same way. Me tell Babylon them to open up the gate. Zimbabwe she reclaim her land, that's great. Me love the way the people in Cuba get educate. Me have to ask them in the West why them are so full of hate.
Me love how the people of Cuba them educate me. Have to ask them in the West how them are so full of hate.
Me see them in the West, say them a big hypocrite. A full time now, them policies them have to switch. Them fight against Cuba, them say them a communist. Still them trade with China till China get rich. Them no like Zimbabwe, true them reclaim the land. Them no talk say it was stolen from Africans. Say them would buy it back. No the Queen of England.
Them they buy it back.
No, seems like it was a scam. The people get wise and them start make a stand. No government perfect, the youths overstand. The youth start rise, lend a helping hand. Highly Selassie I say, all nations have a plan. Sometimes in this life you have to go your own way. Me pray for me brothers in a Zimbabwe. For me Cuban sisters, I see them and say the Almighty love all of the people same way. Me tell Babylon them to open up the gate. Zimbabwe she reclaim her land, that's great. Me love the way the people in Cuba get educate. Me have to ask them in the West why them are so full of hate.
That's why Babylon no like we. Yet them want we buy them Jordans and Nike. Yo, they have chairs just to fight with. Oh, Jordan and the one Charles Barkley.